Okay, do you want to play SEGA Genesis games or SEGA Mega Drive games on your original hardware? So the Mega Drive 1 and 2, for example. Are original games too expensive? Or do you actually develop games, you're into game development and you want to make some games for original hardware? Well, then this could be the choice for you, because in the top it has an SD card slot port here. And inside here is actually a micro SD where you can load in all your ROMs and everything else. It comes with a few thousand games on here from pretty much the entire Mega Drive Genesis catalog, Japanese regions, Master System games, and it supports 32X games. But if you don't have the original hardware, so if you don't have a 32X, it's not going to work because it requires extra processing power to run those games. But if you do have the original hardware, you can dump on all the games and load that through your original hardware. So it's pretty cool. Here's the original manual that came with it. It pretty much tells you how to make a new card if you ruin your old one. It tells you how to load games and everything else. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to plug this into some original hardware. I have a Mega Drive 1 and a Mega Drive 2, so we're going to have a little look at that. Okay, well, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so it's going to work in any one of these, Mega Drive 1 or Mega Drive 2. This one's hooked up. So let's get going. Okay, so before we begin testing this cartridge, I want to say a few things. My streaming capture card is very bad. That's why the image is off and it's flickering. Don't worry about that. The cartridge is pretty much a Chinese clone of the Everdrive. Now, if you don't know what an Everdrive is, it's a very expensive product, unnecessarily expensive. And this is a very cheap one, maybe $25, something like that. I'll link it in the video description below so you can check it out. A cheap Chinese clone, but it aims to do everything the Everdrive is set out to do. It's region free, it works in European, NTSC, America, Japanese consoles. Plug and play, it comes with thousands of games. Okay, let's go. So, right now I'm playing Micro Machines 2. You can play a game just like you do on an original console. Everything is going to be the same. These are all like ROM dumps anyway that the community have done over the years, and they're all collected together and put onto the cartridge. It's a micro SD card. You can add your own games and everything else. So this is what happens when you first switch on your Mega Drive or your Genesis. You can play the last game which was loaded in. You can select a different game. So let's go to here. Right now I'm using a European console. This means it runs at 50 Hz, so I want to choose games in the European folders, which is these two here. You can put the SD card in your computer and rename any of these folders. You can add more folders, delete things, it's up to you, it's your choice. This is everything it came with. I haven't modified anything, and you can see all the games here. So if I press the A button, I go in. If I press the B button, I can go out. If I want to play Road Rash 2, amazing game. This one is USA and Europe ROM. So if I select that, it will say don't turn off the system. It gets loaded into the memory. So right now it's erasing Micro Machines 2. So it has to erase that off there. Then it will load the ROM I want to play, which is Road Rash 2. So this can take time, but once it's loaded in, when you switch on your Genesis for the first time, after doing this, then you can just hit play game and you won't have to do this again. So it's the last game you play. All of the games have a save feature, so you can just save it and it creates a little save file so you can come back to it later. So it's like playing an emulator on your PC, for example. So the save support, etc. So this should be Road Rash 2 right now. Okay, there it is, Electronic Arts, looks about right. Oh, it's Road Rash 3, I thought I picked 2. Did I pick 2? I don't know. But that's the loading process. So it's a good game, isn't it? Road Rash 3, very hard. Okay, so let's go back in here. Now, I believe this supports 32X games. Now, the 32X, you do need the 32X hardware because it has extra processing power and everything else. You cannot play 32X games on a Genesis. Sorry, it doesn't work. But if you have the 32X add-on, you can use this cartridge to load all the 32X games. So you still need that, but you can put them on here. I don't know if they are already on here, I'm not sure. EDMD. Now this is like the operating system for the cartridge. If you have any issues or you want to upgrade it, you can replace the MS. It should say MS-DOS. I'm not sure what's going on there. You can replace that with one on the internet.
I believe it works from the Everdrive website, I'm not sure. It also supports Master System games as well. So these are all the Master System games on here. It's got 25 pages of Master System games. But we all know Alex Kidd, so let's try and load one of these. So this should load just like the Genesis games. And there is a little button on the cartridge as well, and what that does, it's a pause button for the Master System game. So I don't know if you remember the Master System, but I believe there was a big pause button on the console itself. So that's what the button on the cartridge does. Now you see how this game looks a little slow? I believe that's because it's an American ROM, so it's 60 Hz game running on a 50 Hz setup here, and that's why it's running a little slow. So you may want to, if you're in the European region, put the European versions of these games on, and they're available on the internet for free. You just Google it, you know, you can get your own games. Okay, so that's the play game feature. I think we covered everything in here. There's no Mega CD games in here. I'm just resetting the console right now, it's just easier. Select game. Let's see what else is in here. So new games. This is what it came with. I don't know what they are. There's some Chinese folders on here. Who knows how they got there? I'm not sure. It literally lists every folder on the SD card. So it's even including system volume information, which is a Windows folder. And tools. Now there is a warning here. If you load one of these EXEs, if I click this button right now, it will probably brick the cartridge. These EXEs are designed to run on your PC. It's like added features. I had one of these cards before. I loaded the Game Genie cookbook from the console and it bricked it. So maybe don't do that, okay? There should be a little check to make sure you're loading a Genesis or a Master System game or a 32X game. I don't know why, but there wasn't. Okay, options. So region free, on or off. This removes region checks on your console, although it seems to work with it off. I'm not sure why. There's different things here. I don't know what. I'm not an expert at this stuff. They're there if you know what they are. Cheats. These are Game Genie codes. So I don't know if you remember the Game Genie. It makes games easier. So the idea is you put the Game Genie in, then the game into the Genie, and then you can use password systems to sort of hex edit cheats or various things like that. I think that was the idea of that. But this supports that as well. It looks like you can save and load SRAM, device info, speed test. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's actually detected my console region. Look at this. So the file system, okay, file system. So if you format the SD card and make a new one, it looks like it has to be like a FAT32. So it might not work with NTFS. Interesting, cool. A little bit of information there. Update OS. So that's probably what I spoke with you about earlier, about the MS-DOS file, but it doesn't say MS-DOS. And about. Interestingly, when you go in here, it says the Everdrive MD. So that's the branded version that this cart is cloning, but it seems to think it is one. So that leads me to believe that it's using the OS or the BIOS, whatever you want to call it, of the actual original cartridge. So therefore it might work with the updated firmware from the original. I'm not sure. Even the support links are pointing to that site too. And it's distributed by... well, that could be the AliExpress link at the bottom there. I'm not sure. But that is basically it. So if you don't care about the extra stuff, whatever. But if you do game development, you can drop on your ROMs, load it in. And you probably know more than I do, so I don't know why I'm telling you this. You can load your games, test them out on original hardware, right? That's sort of the point of that. Some of these cartridges have a direct USB-C port, which makes it a lot easier. This one doesn't, but it does have a cool pause button for the Master System and a micro SD card slot as well. There's no other real inputs on here. But like I say, it's got all these games loaded in, so I'm going to just scroll through so you can see. I appreciate that a lot of you out there don't care about adding stuff and all this crap I'm talking about, so I'll just show you some of the games on here. So it has all the Sonics here, Strider, cool game, Super Hang-On, Tasmania, awesome game, Toe Jam, oh look at that, super rare game now, Urban Strike, pretty much every title you're gonna know is on here. I think Streets of Rage must be on here as well. Streets of Rage 3. Okay. So what they like to do is put most things in the USA folder, and then the European folders are a little empty. So you can see now we have Streets of Rage 2 in this folder. Maybe the number 1 is hiding in the Japanese folder. I don't know. But like I say, you can download more, put them on. Who cares, right? It's very easy to do. Okay, I don't see Streets of Rage 1. But whatever, right? So many games on here. You got Micro Machines, Mickey Mania, Lion King, Lawnmower Man, Jurassic Park, James Bond, Robocop 3. Amazing games. So long. I think it has a password system. Golden Axe, George Foreman before he had his grill. And this is Ghouls and Ghosts. Oh, it says it next to it. Never mind. Chuck Rock, Brian Lara Cricket, Batman Forever. Wow, I used to play that in the hospital. Our hospital had a game room with a Genesis in. How cool was that? This one kid wanted to play racing games. I just wanted to play Batman, right? Oh, Alien Storm, awesome awesome 2-player game. So yeah, it's got some cool stuff on here. So basically, if you know someone that likes consoles, if you don't know anything about it, it's a pretty good stocking stuffer. It's very cheap. You can get it on AliExpress, and it aims to copy everything the Everdrive can do, even copying the kind of OS on the SD card as well. So it's a cheap clone, and it seems to work okay. Just don't open any file which isn't a ROM, otherwise it can brick it. I'm not sure why, but it's happened to me before. But I hope you enjoyed the review of the cartridge. Looks like a lot of fun. Like I say, this capture card is crap. It's going to look a lot better on your TV at home. But it's a cool way to spice up your console again. It's going to work in Genesis, all original hardware, Genesis 1 and 2, Mega Drive 1 and 2, and whatever the Japanese ones are. It's going to work all in official hardware. Aftermarket consoles may vary. May or may not work. Don't count on it. Probably won't work. So any official console, it's going to work just fine. Okay. And yeah, games very expensive now. If you want to buy Toe Jam and Earl, very expensive, especially in Europe. And this has thousands of games on, so it's going to keep you satisfied, and you can dust off your console and have a good time, basically. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the review. I'm going to review more games in the future. Who knows? I have more on my channel, in fact, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.